Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody who has joined me today. Thank you for being here. I always feel like this is some kind of rehabilitation session. Good morning, everyone. My name's Ryan. I'm here to talk to you about pixel art. If you're a pixel art addict, please share your names with us now. How about you? You're new to the group? That's what I feel like. Anyway, here we are with another Speedpaint pixel, and today I am doing the Skeleton King. So as you saw at the beginning of the video, I have already done a Skeleton King, but the scale of things has changed. So I always wanted to add more bosses, and the Skeleton King, the Spectral Lord, and the Rotten Earl were the original three, but I always wanted another two. So we've got 5 bosses total now. As you may have seen on the channel already, there's the Wendigo and the Baba Yaga, and because they were done to a new scale to match in with all the other cards, the old bosses had to be updated to the new scale. And as you can see where that little cut off is at the bottom of his the rusty sort of bit, that is the scale we're talking about in difference. So it's a huge change, absolutely massive amount of extra work really to do, but I believe totally worth it, because we can't have the wrong scale pixel for one boss and then the right scale for others. So I've unified the scales of everything, which was super boring, by the way. And it wasn't boring, it was just tedious. There was a lot of stuff to do and not a lot of progress to show for it once it was done. So we're here now, and as I said, we're doing the Skeleton King. So because the original pixel art was done before the box art was done, the two never really married up, so this was an opportunity to kind of marry up the box art version with the pixel art version, which is what I've kind of aimed to do. There's a little embellishment. I think I started with this gold collar. I can't remember if I actually changed it now. The little kind of gold trim around his collar just to make it a little bit fancier, but I wanted to carry it all through, so I'm pretty sure I changed that. Could be wrong. But this one was really fun, really fun. Very time consuming because of all the rust. So I wanted to build up this kind of rusty look and sort of contrast that with this kind of shine to some of the metalwork that wasn't rusty. So there was a lot of, you can see here, lots and lots of dots. Lots of experimenting with patterns to see if I could make different shadows and things like that, and essentially just always trying to learn something new for each one, so that hopefully eventually the level of skill increases and you start to see better and better artwork. So a lot of this is just really, it's manual placement of pixels. There's a little bit of copying and pasting from sections that I think work, but not a lot really. It's all done with a mouse and keyboard for shortcuts, but everything's done with a mouse for pixel art. I've got a Wacom Cintiq 13 HD. It's an ancient piece of technology. The Brotherhood of Steel will be very interested in it if they were real. That I use for things like digital painting, or if I need to lasso something, really sort of doing photo editing. But pixel art is just one by one, just clicking those little pixels. We got a happy little pixel there, just a happy little pixel, and that's basically all it is. You click and you move on. I think I may have mentioned this in another video, but it's important to point out that there's a lot of zooming out and zooming in, so I'm almost always holding Alt and coming out of the picture, coming back in, because the tiny detail stuff usually looks really good up close, and you think, okay, that probably looks fine, and then you zoom out and it just doesn't fit with the rest. So it's really important to keep checking your work. It's almost like cooking. When you cook, you're supposed to taste the food as you go on, and such, like things like that. So this, you need to keep checking your work as you go on, otherwise you end up with the kind of discordant set of pixels and things like that. So there you go. You can see here I don't really know what I'm doing. You can often tell I don't want to know what I'm aiming to achieve if I stay in one place for a long time. Usually if I've got it perfect in my mind's eye, I'm like, right, yep, there we go, done, and it's finished. And it tends to be quite quick. But when I don't know what I'm doing for certain bits, I think, oh, what am I doing here? And I just kind of fall into this experiment trap where I just keep dropping pixels in, hoping it'll work. And it usually just wastes loads of time, and then I get frustrated and move on to another piece. So I think I started doing the chest armor there, and now I'm onto the left arm to kind of block everything out. And then there's like a final pass for everything too. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this guy. He's been, I want to say he was probably the very first boss that ever existed, the Skeleton King. The first pixel art that I ever did was this guy. The original one that you saw at the start of the video. So he's holds a little special place in my heart. I think the reason why I like him so much is because I always love doing the heavy armor. So the fighter is my favourite character in Storyteller, and doing the artwork for him. I say him, it's not canonically a him. I am a him, so therefore it's a him. You can be whatever you want. Just putting that out there. The fighter, my fighter, the him, he has this big bulky armor, and I love big bulky armor. I always play as tanks in video games and human fighters in D&D because I'm vanilla. So I pinched the fighter's armor and modified it for the Skeleton King, give him a little backstory that because there's like a time loop element to the game, you've got the 52 weeks to finish the game, you could be looking at a fighter that got trapped in the time loop for so long that he became a monster and something like that. So just a little bit of a head canon, might make it a real canon, not sure yet. But there you go, that's a little tidbit of behind the scenes information. I really wasn't happy with this guy's face, by the way. This was really tough to get right. I wanted him to look like handsome Squidward almost. But skull instead. I don't know whether I achieved that. I don't think he looks menacing enough. That was my other issue. He just looks a little bit bored, I guess. Which I didn't think was quite right for what I wanted. But we get there in the end. The next bit's my favourite, doing the crown. This was a long time coming because the original crown sucked. A lot of what I tend to do is just get it done and make it better later. Make it great. Make it great again. Make it great again. Everybody says that I'm great. I know I'm great. Sorry, Donald Trump just sneaks into all of my videos, doesn't he really? So here was a lot of experimenting with colour. Fun fact, gold isn't gold. It's not really yellow. It is a greeny, browny, weird colour. And it mostly reflects the things around it. It does have obviously a yellowish tinge, but to illustrate that using pixel art was really tricky. So I pinched some white, some yellow, some green, and a couple of browns to try and lift that, make it a bit more shiny. Shiny! Now this is where I hope, because this video was filmed like 2 weeks ago. A lot has happened since then. I hope this is where I make him a little more menacing, because it was just, he wasn't quite right. Probably needed a frown or something. Maybe some eyebrows. And a moustache. Like that guy from Loco, the Disney film. Anyone who knows that, leave a comment below saying you've seen Loco. So here we go. Nearly finished. Almost there. He's good. He's looking good. I think. Anyway, I'm happy with him. Hope you are too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.